Okay, this is going to be a brief overview of forklift operations. Bear in mind this is going to be pretty specific to 46 Composite Truck Company, as that's the unit I'm currently in, and likely if you're watching this it's because I have already PCS'd. This is the main forklift that we use here currently in 46 CTC. Task: operate a forklift safely following all ground guide signals. Condition: given a classroom environment, instructor, written test, ground guide, and forklift. Standards: soldiers are able to identify all ground guide signals, operate the forklift safely, pick up an empty pallet from one designated location and place it in another designated location. Okay, so references. The two main references here are going to be FM 21-60 and AR 385-10. What we're trying to avoid is accidents, crashes, fatalities. I will link this video in the description below, as I don't want to incorporate it into this video. Alright, some common forklifts that you are likely to run across. The Atlas and Atlas II 10K forklifts. The first and most important distinction to make here is that almost uniformly anything in the Army is going to be rated in 1,000 pounds that it can pick up. So an Atlas 10K forklift will do 10,000 pounds. With the Doosan, because it is a Korean-built forklift, it's also 10K, but it's 10,000 kilos. So the Doosan will pick up something like 23,000 pounds, maybe a little bit more. So just for your information, just so you're aware, everywhere else the K is indicative of pounds, but with the Doosan it's going to be kilos. Anyway, this forklift has a couple of choices. You have four-wheel drive, you also have two-wheel steer, four-wheel steer to include crab steer, and I've got some pictures to describe that here in a minute. This forklift is great for loading and shipping containers, as this boom obviously extends and retracts. Alright, front wheel drive. Like every car you have ever owned or driven, the front wheels turn. Four-wheel drive steer, where the front wheels would turn one direction, the rear wheels would turn in the opposing direction. This facilitates a much tighter turning radius. Crab steer. This is super helpful when you're trying to creep up into a very specific location and you can't turn into it. Basically, if you turn the wheels this way, then the whole truck will move in this direction, but the plane that it's on will stay the same. Okay, the 4K forklift. The forklift is good when they work. These are not the best forklifts the Army ever bought. I'm just going to leave it at that. Ground guide signals. It is critically important that both the driver and the ground guide are on the same page when it comes to ground guide signals. The driver and operator should always review ground guide signals before any movement occurs. This is just to make sure you guys are on the same page and you both understand what ground guide signals mean what. Okay, in the effort of time, we're going to do just a very brief overview of what the hand and arm signals are. I'm not going to read the description for you. You can pause the video, read them if necessary. It's critically important that you understand how to state that you don't understand. I know it's kind of a weird way of saying it, but just know you have to know this one. Starting the engine, every single soldier should know how to do that one. Moving in reverse, when you do this, you will need two ground guides. So when it comes to raising the hoist, obviously there's not a hoist on a forklift. However, this is going to be indicative of raising and lowering your forks. So this would be the lowering of your forks. When it comes to boom, the boom going up and down isn't really up and down. What you're doing is moving the boom away from the truck driver or towards the truck driver. We're not worried about dismounts. Everyone should know how to stop the engine. Neutral steer, that is a track only thing, don't worry about that. To move forward, you will definitely need to know this one. Moving in reverse, again, same one as we showed earlier. Alright, to turn, yeah, left and right is obviously the other hand pointing the other direction. Now, as far as forks goes, moving the forks left or right, in other words, increasing or decreasing the distance between the forks, or you're just moving one fork a little bit over to the left or a little bit over to the right to allow you to fit in where you need to go, you're going to point at that fork and the direction in which it needs to move. Alright, safety first. Most civilian forklifts are front-wheel drive and rear-wheel steer, which makes them extremely dangerous at higher speeds. This includes the Doosan forklift that you'll be working with today. Essentially what this means is that at higher speeds, when turning a rear-wheel steer vehicle, the front tires will always want to bite into the asphalt and stop, while the rear of the vehicle simultaneously wants to beat the front of the truck to the front. Momentum and inertia hurl the rear of the vehicle forward, and this can easily lead to a rollover. If you've ever been in a shopping cart and pushed it backwards, you know what this feels like. The cart always wants to turn around. I will also link this video in the description below. Forklift components. Side note, this will be on the test. So if you're watching this on YouTube, I am probably gone and hopefully they're still using this test. But you're going to have to memorize the components listed here. Internal controls.
Okay, as far as hydraulic controls go, there are 5 primary controls. You have your first lever, which is going to raise or lower your forks. Just like an aircraft, if you press back, the forks will rise. If you press forward, the forks will lower. Then you have mast tilt. This is going to take the mast and tip it back towards us. Or if I press forward, it's going to tip the mast back down. Next we have our forks left and right lateral control. Now this is going to do the whole assembly left and right. It doesn't move the forks independently, so the distance between the forks will not change as you adjust this lever. Next we have the 2 individual forks. So left fork, this is going to go in. If I press forward, the left fork will go out. Finally, the far right one, if I press this right lever in, the fork will come in. If I press out, the fork will go out.